When you are using in Dreamweaver, when you go through and format text, you're going to highlight and it's going to change things just like you would in Microsoft Word. Same thing for centering. When you take a look at fonts, you will have fonts that you can choose from a list, just like in Microsoft Word, except you're not going to have as expansive set of fonts. Why don't we have so many fonts? Not everyone has those fonts on their computer, correct? So we are going to be limited to what is typically a stock font on their computer. So again, it's easier to do it in Dreamweaver for setting all of your font characters and things. We are still going to use BRs. Do you remember what BRs are versus Ps?
Breaks and paragraphs.
Okay. Ps are paragraphs. And what happens when you put a P in? What is your spacing?
Single.
There is no. When if you put a beginning P and an ending P, what happens after your ending P?
It double spaces.
It double spaces it, right, and goes down?
Yeah.
When you used a BR, what did it do? One space after. So in Dreamweaver, when you're typing text, when you hit an enter is going to be like a P. If you want to do a BR or a line break, you are going to use a shift and enter. And that would give you your line break, so it goes immediately below it. So we're going to go through and do some formatting. We are going to be in our striped umbrella page. Okay. The first thing that we have to do is we're going to open up index. So you have your index page open from yesterday. Your index page background color should be white. Tracy, you need to do this with me. Okay? Your background color is white. We changed that yesterday. How did we change our background color yesterday? Modify page properties, and then under page properties, we just changed our background color. Okay? Now, we have text that's already been typed in here. What we want to do is we want to click after the word home in that last paragraph, and you're going to hit enter. And then you're going to type in the striped umbrella. And I am on page 212, instruction number 1. What I want to do in here is I actually want to put in the address. So I want immediately after this to be my street address. So again, if I hit enter, it's going to leave a blank line. So how am I going to get it directly below it? Shift enter. I screwed something up. When you do shift enter, then you're going to type in 25 Beachside Drive. Another shift enter. Then you're going to put in Fort Eugene, which is the address. And I'm getting all of this data on page 212 and the zip code. After the city, state, zip, you are going to put in the phone number of 555-594-9458. When we look at your your address being typed in, when I go to code view, the first thing is when I hit enter after home, it put in my ending P, and then it gave me a new P. And it did say P class equals body text. What does this do? What is it related to? We've done this. We named it, we gave it a class. So what does that relate to that we've done previously? It can be internal or an external style sheet, right? If we go to the very top of this document, the cascading style sheet is going to define the font and how that paragraph text is going to look, because it says right here, make this setup like the class body text. At the end of each line right here, you will see that we have a BR/, which is what we did when we did a shift enter. And it put it immediately after. Okay? So you should see your text on your page will look exactly like this. One of the things I like to do if I need to double check my code, when I'm in design view, I will put my cursor exactly where I want to check the code out and then go to split screen. Because you will notice it'll show me where I am. Because I was highlighted on that part on the design view, and then it will show me on code view exactly where I need to go to see that code. So just giving you that as a heads up, when you switch to split screen or code view, wherever your cursor is, it'll jump to that spot for you for finding your code. Okay. What I want you to do next is go ahead and highlight your entire address. And we're going to make it italics. Notice, in Dreamweaver, there's no button with the letter U. Okay? Why not?
Because
they're going to think it's a link. You don't underline text in a web page. So, what is the easiest way to italicize?
Control-I.
Right there? Just to click on it? Okay. You can go under a drop-down menu, but on the very bottom of your properties panel, when you have text highlighted, your property panel is going to change based on what you have selected. Right now I have text selected, so I would then click on the I, and that just made my CSS rule come up. Why did it do that? No idea? Okay. This is a little bit of troubleshooting. Look at my properties panel. Okay. Did that on purpose. So when I highlighted the text and clicked on italicize, this came up because it says, hey, wait, you're trying to modify the CSS rule. Is that really what I'm supposed to be doing? What do I need to have highlighted instead of CSS? HTML. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on cancel here. And I'm going to click on HTML. Notice how my property panel also now just changed. Before I had a properties panel for what I can do for formatting for CSS. Now I have HTML formatting, and I actually have some indent and bullets and ordered list items. So all I'm going to do right now is go ahead and click on my italicize button. I want it italicized. I didn't make mine yet because I showed you what happens if I had CSS selected instead of HTML. Now, when we look at the code for this, you will notice that the code for italicize is EM, which is short for emphasis. So that's going to be what would go in to put in the code for italics, not I. Okay? Because it's a different, we're working in a different version of HTML than what we did hand coding in, just to point that out. That's a good question. So how can we find that out? If we go to code and we go all the way up to the very top, it will tell you right here the type of HTML that we are writing. And we're using XHTML 1.0 transitional. And in Dreamweaver, when you create pages, you can actually set which way you want it to write to. Okay? But anytime if you do a view source and you click on the very top, people that do web pages professionally will have on the top the type of coding and how it's written. We didn't do any of that with our HTML coding because it didn't matter. I just needed you to learn code not all of that other stuff. Okay? Now, we have to save this page. Okay, we know we need to save it because you have your tiny little asterisk up there. So we're going to go ahead and do File, Save. Now, the next thing I need to do is I need to open up from Chapter 2. Okay, do you know what I'm talking about? So you're going to go to File, Open. And I'm going to go up to Chapter 2. And I'm going to open DW 2-1. What do I need to do? Is this page saved under my account? So I need to do File, Save As. I have to make sure I save it where? Under Striped Umbrella. You have to tell it that. So I have to choose my folder, go to Striped Umbrella, and we are going to save it as SPA. But you already have SPA here. Do you see that? So all I need to do is just select the word SPA, and what it will do is it will overwrite it. And that's exactly what I wanted to do.
No updating links?
Update links? No. Question for you. This picture stayed there, this one went bye-bye. Why?
Because one's in the assets folder.
Yes, the top one is already in your assets folder. Dreamweaver's smart enough to realize, oh, okay, I'll put that in there. So what do we have to do with this one? Go find it.
Okay.
And it will be under your Chapter 2 assets folder, okay?
Spa. C-Spa logo.
C-Spa logo.
Got it.
Now it doesn't appear right away. Sometimes if you click off, then it will show up. And the other thing that you should find now, when you refresh under your assets panel up here, how many images do I have in the assets folder? 2. It automatically went there because we said by default I want all my images to go there. Now, what happens in large companies is they could hire one person to go through and write text for their company. So, for example, Christine, you could be in charge of writing context for the page. But Jack, you're going to be in charge of designing the fanciness. Divide up and conquer, because you're going to have some people that are really good with the eye for design. You're going to have some people that are going to be really good for the grammar part of it. Because you don't want to have a page out there that is going to have poor context and it's not going to be worded correctly, because then people are going to think less of your site. So what you can actually do in Dreamweaver is if somebody has already created the text for the page, you can actually import a Microsoft Word file. So that means you don't have to sit there and type. You also don't need to copy and paste, right? Like copy and paste. We are going to let Dreamweaver take a Word document, import it in. The other thing that Microsoft Word does, did you know in Microsoft Word you can actually just do a file save as and save your Word document as an HTML file? Did you ever know that? Yes. So you can do that in Microsoft Word. It's bad code. Okay, it's all kinds of extra stuff that's really messy. So it's not good for publishing. So when we actually take our Microsoft Word document and bring it into Dreamweaver, one of the things we have to do is we tell Dreamweaver to check for extra coding. Because sometimes they'll have a whole bunch of starting P's, ending P's, starting P's, ending P's that don't need to be there. So we will have Dreamweaver take out all of that extra stuff for us. So that's the next thing we're going to do, is because this page isn't super exciting. It has a banner, it has another logo on it, but now we've got to get our text on here. And we're going to do that by importing a Microsoft Word document. Nope. It's already typed for us. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on File. And then you're going to go to import. First of all, let me make sure that your cursor is in the right spot. Okay? You need to be directly to the right of the C-SPA graphic, not up here, not before your HR, not before your graphic. Wherever your cursor is going to be where the text is going to go. Okay? So make sure that you are right after the C-SPA logo and you go to File, Import, and we're going to import Microsoft Word document. Now, this is one of the nice things. I didn't have to open Word. All I need to do is find it, and it's in your Chapter 2. Please don't get click happy. Okay? We're going to choose the file that says SPA. Okay, and then we will click on Open. Now, wait a second. It just put in all that text. Okay? Now, what we have to do is we have to clean up all that extra yucky code that came with Microsoft Word. To do that, we're going to go to Commands. Look what it says. Clean up Word HTML. When we click on that, you will get a pop-up menu. And you want to make sure that each one of these boxes is selected. And then you're going to go ahead and click on OK. And it tells me clean up Word HTML results in one empty paragraph removed and source formatting applied. So what does that mean? At the very top of my document, I probably had CSS rules, and now those CSS rules have been applied, so I can click on OK. Does it really look too much different to you? No, but what it did is it checked the background and took all of that extra stuff off. Wasn't that easier than opening, highlighting, copying, going to the other document, right-click, pasting?
Yeah.
Okay, again, how do we do that? File, Import, Microsoft Word document, find wherever it is. And then after it's imported, then we have to go through and clean up our HTML. Let's go ahead and save this document. The other thing I'm going to do is I have this DW2-1 open still. I'm going to close that. I don't need it anymore. So right now I have 2 pages open. I have Index and I have SPA. All right. Now, I'm on my insert panel. My insert panel is over here on the right-hand side where I have these drop down. Remember yesterday we worked in our insert panel? We went here to our head section and we put in our keywords and we put in our description and edited our title. Okay? So what you need to make sure on the very top of the insert panel is, do you see where mine says common? If you actually click this drop down menu, there are a series of other ones here, and I just want to make sure that you're on common. What I want you to do right now is then highlight C-SPA services. Properties panel down in the bottom. Please make sure you're on HTML, not CSS. Then you'll notice right here I have format. And then we're going to go ahead and change this from paragraph to heading 2. What do you think code it just puts in for us? H2. Okay. Now select massages, facials, and body treatment. And we're going to set that to H4 or heading 4. Again, when I look here in my code, notice here's my H2 tag for the C-SPA services, and here's my H4 tag for the other ones. Now, this page over here is wrapping differently on mine than yours. Why? Yeah, because I have mine shrunk up so it shows up here a little bit differently for you. So don't get worried if it doesn't line up and the My Word body treatments goes below the image and yours doesn't. But you need to think about that because that's what would happen if somebody viewed it on a smaller screen than you. Okay, so we always have to be aware of that. When I go back to design view, it looks different. The other thing that we have in Dreamweaver is spell check. We don't have red wavy lines, but you do have an option to do spell check. To spell check, you're going to go under commands. Go ahead and do that with me. And check spelling. And notice, it should have given you a pop-up window because this word right here is spelled incorrectly. And I'm supposed to choose massage and with a period at the end of it because it is the end of the sentence. So I'm going to highlight the word that I want and then I'm going to click on change. And it says it's reached the end of the document. Do you want to continue checking from the start? I'm going to say yes. And once it's done the whole document, I can click on OK. Section 2, what we just did. We have done some formatting using our properties panel, using HTML formatting. We have imported a Microsoft Word document. We have set heading 2 or heading 4 using our properties panel. We've inserted a Word document, cleaned up text. Before, we've already saved images. That is all Chapter 2, Section 2. But I'm not going to stop there. I want to keep going today. Okay? So if you haven't saved SPA recently, please click on Save. Now we're going to get to the fun part. We are going to make some links. Okay? I'm going to switch back to index.
The fun part.
I knew. What we need to do is this is our index or our landing page. We're going to click before the A on About Us. And then I'm going to type in the word home. Space, dash, space. So what I have,
They have to fight for you for if they want to fight.
what I have here is the start of a nav bar. You will notice that I'm going to have links for home, about us, spa, and cafe. And to indicate the different pages that we're going to link to, we have these little dashes between them. Okay? So, we are going to make some, first of all, let's enter a horizontal rule too. Click after cafe. Click before the W in welcome. How do you think we would insert a horizontal rule? You see it up there? So with your cursor before the W in welcome, we are going to click on horizontal rule. Congratulations, you just put an HR in. Yep.
I don't know where that is.
Go to window. And you got to have a check mark in front of insert. Okay, so now this word home, highlight it. Okay? You need to have up right now, you need to be able to see all of these files, and you need to be able to see this. Mine are set left to right to each other, but you got to make sure that you can see these files. Yours are probably like in this area of your screen. Okay. The word home, do you see how I highlighted it? Okay. We want to make that a link. What are we going to link it to? Which page? We don't have a home page. Index. Index is that default page. You and I, as web designers, we know that that first page, we're going to save it as index, but everyone else calls it home. So, how do we link it? There's the short way and the long way. I want you to watch both, please. Okay? The long way to link, when I have it highlighted, you will notice that text is highlighted right here on my properties panel. Look what it gives me an option for. Link. Don't ever type here unless you're doing an external link. And if you're doing an external link, I would go to that page, highlight, copy, and paste, so you don't have to worry about a mistake being made. You are going to use one of these two icons over here. I'm going to show you the long way first. The long way is I click on this little folder, and then it pops up. I choose the file, and then I click on OK. That's the long way. Yeah, really. And look what it did. It made it a blue link. Yay! Much easier than typing ahref, blah, 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 and then ending your A's, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for the short link?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I have it highlighted. Now the other option, besides this folder, is this little like circly compass thing. That's my favorite part, okay? This is called point to file. And this is why I think this is easier, because all I have to do is I click on this and I point right here to index and I let go. Because then you have to click on open, and then if depending on where it is, you have to find it in the folder. That's why click, drag, good to go. I don't care which way you do it, make it linkable. Yep. Then you're going to go through and do About Us. Guess which one About Us is going to link to? Your page right here that you made that's called About Us. And then you can do Spa. Yep. I can't hear you. Cafe goes to cafe, but we have one that's all by itself. It doesn't have a page. You have to go after cafe and type in activities. $2.20.
Figure it out.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Gressel. He is on his way. He just looked up at the clock, so bye. Whole bus is waiting for Jack.
What if it's not in?
It's under Insert Common Email Link right here.
Like, not in there.
Did it not autofill your manager at Striped Umbrella? It didn't? All right, well, you get to type it in then.
Dang it.
I know, it'll kill you. On the top is going to be the word Club Manager. So on the very top is going to be the word that they would actually read on the page, and on the bottom is going to be the email address, which is going to be manager@stripedumbrella.com. Once that's done, you click on OK, and it made a link right here, and it's all fancy schmancy because it's blue. We know it's clickable. And then when I mouse over it, or put my cursor on it, you will notice here in the link, it actually fills it in with that mail to, okay? And if you need the email address, it is on page 222. 222.
We're like eating errors.
All right. Now, I want to check a couple other things here. Now, do you see up here where my sites are? I can switch from files, I can go to sites. Now, on the left-hand side, I'm going to switch to assets. I think I said sites. I really meant assets. I'm switching from files to assets. In assets, what I have here on the very top, if I click on that, it's going to show me all the pictures that are in this site. The next one is going to show me all the colors. This one is going to give me all our URLs. This will give me all of my URLs to external, meaning it's not a link to a page, okay? But assets are all of those extra things that allow us to know what's going on a web page.
Mine doesn't show up.
If it doesn't show up, what you are going to need to do is save your page. And then go back on the bottom corner right here where my mouse is. Click on that refresh.
There it goes.
And then it should show up. Did everyone see where that refresh button is? It's this little circle right here. Make sure you save the page, and then you can hit refresh and your mail to link will show up. Now, how is that helpful? When I'm making a web page, oftentimes your page that you're making is going to be linked to somebody else, correct? And you want to go through and see what are all my external links. They will show up right here, and you can check them to make sure that they all actually work. Instead of you going through on the page in the browser, clicking and checking it, you can look there and see are all of these going to be correct. Now, one thing we haven't done yet is we haven't seen your page all pretty. Okay? What we want to do is we want to view this on the internet. So right here, do you see where my cursor is? On this little globe that says Preview, Debug, in Browser. Does everyone see where my cursor is?
Yeah.
Up here towards the top. If you click on that, it will pop up, and you can preview it in any of you. How many browsers do you have on yours?
Chrome.
Check it in Chrome. Oh, I got a big deny. Did you guys get a big deny?
No.
All right, I have to edit mine because where my Chrome is different.